Now it started recording again. I'm not even gonna try and fiddle with that.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Luna and this is Jay.
Hi.
You have probably, or hopefully, seen part one of our build series where we started to discuss the actual process of building the house.
Decisions that went into it.
There's a lot of decisions, a lot of layouts, a lot of stress, a lot of frustration. It was something that was made quickly. And now we're going to talk about the water, electricity, and the shell delivery.
Plus foundation.
Yeah, and the foundation, which we don't have an actual foundation.
Well, okay.
It's on cinder blocks.
No,
with
well,
gravel.
hang on. That's not entirely true. We had to level where it was going to be. We had to choose a level part of the yard. Then we put what gravel made of broken up concrete, so it actually melts back together as hard as concrete for the most part, to build it up to make it exactly where we're going to be, which you need to know the maximum dimensions of your house plus give or take a foot or so, because it's hard. We'll talk about the delivery process too. It's a very interesting delivery process the way they do it, at least the people we went through. And okay, I look like death because I've been barely getting any sleep because we've been putting up fences, but that's the truck that delivered the shell. So it looks like they've got a little machine dolly thing. Watching them go back and forth, it's a sloped area. They're backing around into trees. Watching people push around the house you're going to live in on a uneven surface, it's beyond stressful. And every crunch that I hear, even if it's just like a small thing of gravel, it's nerve-wracking and it makes my bones shiver, and I don't like it. So I'm actually walking away because it's stressing me out so much, and I can't do anything anyway. I can't. There's a whole team of people there and nothing I do will help or make it worse. I'm just gonna step away because my blood pressure can't handle it. And so we have the gravel, which, you know, gravel is cheaper than concrete. It's all about what you're willing to pay for, what you can do yourself, what you feel confident in. Then when they delivered it, they initially just delivered it and it sat flat on the gravel, but then we had to elevate it up on cinder blocks. Okay, well, they haven't set the house on the cinder blocks yet, but I am out on the front porch. It's kind of nice. And this is the unfinished opening. I just want to walk it. So I'm my own cameraman right now. Nice little space. This is probably going to be, we considered making it the kitchen, but it will probably be the living room. But it could also be the kitchen again, because once you step into a space, your opinions change. You can draw 13,000 floor plans. Ask my wife. We've got a lot of storage space up there. Because it is a barn style ceiling, if we sheetrock it, then it can be difficult to have light come down. So I've suggested just having lights along this little ridge here. Don't worry, I'm not drinking, it's just water. Same on that side. So that way there's just controlled, not as strong lights, not as costly to do. And then, oh no, I don't have my clothes on, but here I am in the bedroom, sort of. Obviously, it's not just going to be this height, it's going to come up further. We're just also going to have a little storage area up there as well. I imagine things will shift, because now that I'm in it, I have different ideas for the layout. I know one thing I'm going to want to do is install a screen door here, because right now it's just a regular door. Feels like it's maybe a shorter door. I don't know. But yeah, watching them deliver this was heart-wrenching. It was stressful. There's nothing I can do. It's just some guys on a super-powered moped moving this crap. And it's really incredible what they can do, but it is stressful to watch. But yeah, I mean, this is the bones of our baby. Sounds creepy. I say it that way. So now I just have to keep digging holes for the privacy fence that we're building out there, put up the fence, and then come out and do a bunch of work out here, and then someday sleep. God, this is gonna be rough. We'll tour the outside here. That's our little front porch. Personally, I want to potentially close in either that front all the way to there or right here to sort of create a more fenced-in area, but we'll see how that goes. Here she is in all of her 32 feet glory, 12 feet wide. It's a mess right now because it was just delivered. And of course now the trash truck decides to show up. But as you can see, we got to clear a couple of limbs right there. It's a barn style. It's not huge. It's not, I mean, it is small, but it's not, you know, small for houses. It's not small. It's bigger than the barracks room I lived in. But I dig it. That flat on the gravel, but then we had to elevate it up on center blocks so that you can do the plumbing and you can do all the stuff that hangs underneath the house, which then we've now since wrapped and trimmed like normal people, and, you know, anchored and all that so it doesn't fly away like the wicked witches here. But, you know, there's a lot of options of like, well, are you going to do concrete there? Are you going to elevate? Are you going to dig underneath? And that's just to get the house to sit in a location that is approved, because depending on where you are, there could be guidelines of how close it can be to some place. Mm-hmm. Is it overlapping here? And like even for us, when we were doing water and septic, you know, the water coming in and the septic going out, we had to make sure that the pipes were far enough away because there are codes. I mean, technically we live in like the Badlands where we're just outside of a couple jurisdictions.
Yeah, we're in no man's land where one county ends and then there's like a couple miles and then another county begins, so we're technically not even in county.
But we try to be as much in code as possible anyway for safety reasons, and just in case eventually the gentrification of small towns is expanding, so it could be eventually they're like, well, you have to bring it into code. And while we'll probably be long gone by then, less headache for the people on the property where this will be.
I mean, that actually happened to my uncle. He builds houses for a living.
Yeah.
He has 3 kids. They're all little, like elementary age. One's a baby. And he got a huge like shed. He had it approved. They put it up, like it had to be like 4 feet off the ground, no problem. They come out after everything, the pipes have been done, and tell him that it actually needs to be another 4 feet off the ground. So it needed to be 8 feet elevated.
Yeah.
And now the piping was all messed up and he was livid. So that is something definitely consider. We didn't have to worry about it, luckily. If you're
He's in
off
another
grid.
state too.
Florida.
Yeah. Florida's, you think they'd be pretty fast and loose with things. They're a wild state.
Not only that, but they're off grid. He owns an
great
coffee company
That's
too,
true.
so I get free coffee every once in a while.
Is that the coffee in the fridge?
Mm-hmm. It smells so good every time I open the fridge.
But yeah, so for us, like our toilet changed location because we had to dig underground, and the septic tank needed a certain degree of, it needed to be down far enough. It's not elevation, I'm completely losing the word, that's the opposite. Yeah, it needed to be further underneath the ground, there needed to be a certain slant to it, just because gravity has to do its job. Okay, this is the second day of septic digging. It's been raining, so the weather's not super friendly, and of course it's leaving a lot of you know, marks throughout this, but we're probably going to try and run a driveway up at least part of the way through here anyway from the main driveway area. This is a old burn pile that's going to go away because it's obviously not very pretty. This is the jackhammer mount that they had on the Bobcat to dig. This is the dirt, and as you can see, there's a lot of sandstone there and then clay, just because of the part of the world that we're in. Something we had to figure out is because, I'm trying to pull back so you can tell, the ground is naturally at a bit of a slant right there. And you're only supposed to have a certain amount of dirt above the surface of your septic tank. And it's also supposed to be at a certain cant or angle. Same with this trench that they've dug here, which will give you a little trench run action here. Straight up the middle into the heart of the Death Star. But if they dug more to even it out, because of the way the rocks are all here, this side would be too deep, whereas this side, if they keep it here, will be slightly above that because it's big. So they're going to just kind of pile the dirt up so that the amount of dirt that they're putting over all this will all be the same, but it might not meet perfectly there, but at least this side won't be buried so deep that I assume it becomes a hassle of like it could be too much weight. I assume that. I know just about as much as it takes to say, yeah, sure, go put it over there. They're also going to run the sprayer valves for this out in that direction, roughly. Yeah, this is again, look at just the size of these rocks. They are not small. So, very glad we had professional help doing this, because that would have been a nightmare. They're gonna come out and finish this. We're gonna drop the tank in tomorrow, dig these other trenches, and I believe they're going to cover it up and run some piping all the way across their trench, which will then pop up over here where we plan to connect it with our own piping PVC from the bathroom, which will be right through that wall, essentially. I'm recording this now because I don't want to be in their way tomorrow. And also, our dear dog Roxy has a vet appointment tomorrow, so I won't even get to be here for this part, which is a little nerve-wracking. So I'm just gonna have to explain it well enough to the people that will be here and try to get as much information as possible from them. But yeah, septic tanks. They're a lot of work, apparently. Hey, so we decided in order to work out how we're gonna do the layout of a tiny home, because obviously space is limited, we were gonna use chalk. So we got like little kindergartner chalk, you know, kids usually eating the stuff for like $2 over down the way. And we basically used, as you can tell by the colors on the floor, a couple different variations. Someone, I won't name who, drew a little too dark their first time with lines.
Love you.
Which makes it difficult, so now we've got blue lines that are a little confusing, which originally when we were digging the trench for our septic drain right here to come into the bathroom, we had a guy digging it all the way out to where he thought the bathroom was going to be on this wall or over in this corner when it's going to be around here. So if you're using chalk, which I suggest you do, especially if you get it in this unfinished shell form, go really lightly. And also what I've done for walls, that I'll do a straight line, or I'll measure and I'll make an X, and then I'll just connect the dots. But whenever I'm thinking where furniture is going to be, I do little triangles that point, so I don't get confused with all of them, especially with all these extra lines. But this is what we're working on, and so you'll know more than I do because you're going to watch this when we're done. We're thinking about a rope ladder for storage that connects to two I-beams down here. So you can come up, hook it in so it's not going anywhere. You're gonna have hopefully a desk area here, couch here, little entertainment system right around here with a shower, sink, toilet, closet, which is gonna come out just a little bit further just because of the dressers we have. And our kitchen situation is gonna be interesting. We're still figuring out the canter and all that of our staircase here, but should come up to roughly around here-ish. So we don't hit our heads, but we still need space to walk in and out here. So it's sort of a tightrope walk to figure out how you make it good enough for a dog to be able to get up into the bedroom, essentially, because that's where we're gonna sleep. And it is not bad. Here, come to the kitchen. So, current ideas by my wife is that this will be a pantry so that it comes in a little lighter. Because if this is potentially as far out as the, well, I guess if we're doing the fridge, however far the fridge is out, will give us the gap here. So we'll actually make it a little bit bigger. But assume for the worst. We need as much walking space here as possible. So we're gonna have probably some type of pantry system here, more counter space along this wall with a sink and double burner system. And then somewhere along here, probably around here or here is where our fridge is gonna go. And we're gonna basically, whatever angle we come from here, we're gonna push the fridge as far as we can out where it'll still function. And then we're just gonna take the hinges off, change it to where the hinges open this way. So that way, if she's in the kitchen, I can just go in here, grab something, boom, walk away, and I'm not in her face while she's stir frying it up. And we do have two windows here because we do a lot of stir fry work, so it gets a little smoky, which will look out on our front porch. And I guess I'll wrap it up at this juncture by showing you what we've done with our staircase here. It's a mess. So, we used a bunch of 2x4s. We made an outline here. We leveled it as best we could. We mixed 5 bags, I think, of concrete by the end of it. Filled it up, leveled it out. It was a lot of mixing with a rake and a bucket. It's very Amish methodology to it. Then we put our hands in it because, I mean, it's sort of our first home, so why not? And then this is where the staircase is going to be. It's going to just have slats of wood that go across it. It's got some things that'll fix to it. I'll talk about more on that whenever we actually have it built up, which for you is already, and for me is weeks or months away. So right now, my grandfather is helping hook up the electrical hookups on the 16-foot 6x6 post that we sunk into the ground this last weekend, and he's running copper wire. And then I'm going to dig a trench with a shovel, however far away that is to here, because I do things for free and other people don't. So that's pretty much the point we're at right now. You know, we haven't gotten a whole lot of stuff in there. We've just kind of got the layout figured out. We're gonna put a window right up here, because this is essentially, we're sleeping above the porch right there. So
Show the window.
right now it's just a vent, as you can see right there, but we're gonna do a little window so that we have a little air and light up there. And yeah, we sleep essentially above the porch, where we're gonna install some type of lights, maybe just run string lights. And of course, we have the issue of they put this here but don't have it here. So we're gonna have to replicate how they did this as best we can, because otherwise that's gonna drive me crazy. It would have been easier technically if we're coming up the driveway to put the staircase here, but it would have been really steep, and also we're kind of trying to point ourselves that way, just away from everything else, live in our own world. That's the idea. So, you excited?
I'm very excited.
This is what's left of the dirt from the septic tank. We had to fill it halfway with water so it wouldn't float away. As you can see, there's a little bit of dirt here where the trench was made, and it goes up to there, and that leads basically right underneath that window is where our crap palace is going to be located. Obviously, we're going to have to clean up the whole place outside once we're done, but then we're going to go in here, we're going to put a skirt around it after it's all said and done, insulate it, and put some type of heating system in there so that we can keep the pipes from freezing over in this bizarre winter. And yeah, we are also going to anchor it.
Anchor the house. Right now it's just sitting on cinder blocks.
Well, and crushed gravel that used to be cement, so it gels pretty nicely. A lot of arguments come from designing a house. So don't be surprised when that happens. It's stressful.
It is, and don't think too much of it, because you're trying to fit what you need and what you want. The thing that I would give anyone advice for is make a list of what you both think are actual, like absolute essential needs, and then go from there. And whatever is left over, then discuss how you want it. Like for me, the kitchen is an absolute need, because I have so many food allergies. I have to cook everything, so it's essential I have access to do that.
Well, designing a tiny home is sort of like your prom night. Every inch counts. So you argue a lot more about small things, because it's like Blink-182 tells you, it's all the small things. I would say, because my method, this is probably not even going to get my face, whatever space you're in, think about the amount of time you spend in front of a TV, in a kitchen, having your hair blown while you're trying to make a video. And think about how much time you spend in each space. Do you have irritable bowel syndrome? Maybe make your bathroom nicer. Do you take long showers? Maybe spring for that. Do you mostly just hang out in your office? Maybe prioritize the office space. Put as much love and effort into the spaces you spend. Generally, try to make the bathroom and the bedroom as nice as possible. Those are the 2 places you'll be naked. I mean, it's your house. You can be naked anywhere, but those are the places that most people find themselves naked.
Kitchen was my priority.
Because she finds herself naked in the kitchen a lot.
I will after this.